everybody. Today I'm at the Robinson School, and I thought it would be interesting to give people the impression as to what an open concept is like, because a third of our students attend Robinson School for pre-K to 2, but not all of our students do. And sometimes people are always wondering, like, how is it possible to have multiple sections of students in one large space? And I remember that when I first came here as a superintendent, I was also initially, as an adult, sort of overwhelmed by the idea that all of this activity could be taking place. And Mr. Lacoste said something very important to me. Mr. Lacoste, the principal here at Robinson School, he said, we should all put ourselves in the positions of the students. And if we sit down and look at things through their lenses and consider the world the way in which they're looking at it, all of a sudden it makes much more sense. Because now the students are in their spaces, they're working in their classroom, and all of a sudden these walls are now separating them from the activity that's taking place next door. And it's really no different than any of our other schools that have the doors open between classrooms or activity that's taking place in the hall. And so it was a really interesting thing for me to see, and all of a sudden I then really began to appreciate it in a different way. Years ago, when I first became an administrator in a different district, I was an administrator in an open concept middle school where they had quickly put the walls up in the building because doing that in a middle school was not as practical at the time. And so for me it was really eye-opening when I was able to come here and see it through new eyes and through the lens of, again, the way in which a child, I think, would approach this learning environment. And it is a phenomenal learning environment here, just as it is in all of our pre-K to 2 schools, and all of our schools for that matter too. But I think it's really an interesting way in which to create a space that is so student-centered, even just thinking in terms of what their perspective is. I also want to let everybody know that on November 9th, we're going to be holding a Zoom webinar where we're going to share what our potential priority areas are for our strategic district improvement plan, which we're working on this year, which is going to help guide us through the next couple of years as we're bringing that work together for our individual school improvement plans as well too. So we're going to be holding that Zoom webinar at 7 o'clock at night that'll allow families who aren't able to participate in some of the other meetings the opportunity to listen to what our thoughts are and then to provide some feedback and ask questions. So look forward to that information. I'll be sending it out in an email to all of our families once we have that link finalized.